Hey guys, it's Jessica from Peace Love Books, and today I'm here with my May mid-month wrap-up. I'm filming this on the 16th. I did finish 2 books today, but I'm counting them for 1 through 15 because I read most of them in the last 2 weeks. So I have 14 books, which is crazy. I have not been reading as much lately, but I'm happy with my number for this month. I did end up going to Chicago this past weekend, and I drove, and that's a 6-hour drive, so I got through 3 audiobooks in the 6 hours there and 6 hours back. So I have a lot of goodies, some new favorites. I have some really good books, and I feel like they were not that many duds. So we're gonna go ahead and get to it. I have some authors that I love that I was able to read. So the first one is going to be Into the Tide by Laura Pavlov. This one is a brother's best friend romance, and it is a small town. Our heroine is home for the summer, and she has this to-do list she wants to do because she's gonna go move to Chicago, have her first like big girl job after college, and she reconnects with the brother's best friend, and they obviously see each other in a different way. And the hero is like, oh my gosh, I cannot be thinking about my best friend's sister like this. Like, no, that is awful. But she ends up helping him out with his business, and he just cannot stop thinking about her. And she ends up confiding in him that she has this list that she wants to complete, including some things that he could help out with. And that's where this one goes. There's forced proximity because she ends up going to a wedding with him, and they end up having to share a room, and it is really sweet. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. A really solid start to the series. I feel like it's just only gonna get better because the next one is billionaire and workplace romance, and I'm very excited for that one, Grump Sunshine. It comes out actually on Thursday of this week, so if you're watching this on Wednesday, it comes out tomorrow, and I cannot wait to read it. I did get a copy when I saw her in Chicago this weekend, and I'm so excited to read it, but I really enjoyed it. If you like small town, definitely pick this one up. Huge summer vibes. I think I'm gonna do a summer recommendation video, so definitely be in there as well. Then I read Time Born by Sarah Samuels. This one is a fantasy romance. I actually help authors market their audiobooks, so I'm not going to be rating any of the books that I read for that, just because I am getting it as PR and I'm helping the author with their PR. So this one is a fantasy romance, and it is about a woman who is considered time born, and she doesn't know that though. She had witnessed her mother murdered when she was younger, and now it is the present day, and there's secrets that she's unveiling, and then she time travels back to the Roman times and falls in love with someone there. So that is the plot of this one. I'm not going to be reviewing it, but I did read it in the month of May. Then I read Beyond the Thistles by Samantha Young. This one is another small town romance, but it takes place in Scotland, and I give this one 5 stars. So much romantic suspense. If you like romantic suspense, read this one. I loved it. It had everything I love. She's a single mom on the run. She has a abusive ex that something happened where now she's hiding out in the Scottish Highlands at this estate for wealthy people, and this estate is actually the estate from the Adair series. So she's a maid there, and she has been intrigued by one of the bodyguards, and now her life is in danger. So there have been some threats happening. Someone at the estate had not treated her well, and so the hero gets very, who did this to you? I'm gonna protect you, no one touches my woman kind of thing. And so they end up having to spend a lot of time together because he is her bodyguard basically 24/7, and they end up putting their security on her, and he's like in charge of it because he feels connected to her, and they end up having a sort of friends with benefits situation, and they both are like, this is just physical, we both need a release. Like, she hasn't been with anybody since like a while ago where her ex threatened the person that she was with, and so it's been a long time for her, and he doesn't want to get close to people because he has a very damaged past, and so it is so good. I really love the hero. I like a very damaged and stoic hero who wants to push everyone away but then slowly unravels and like reveals himself to the heroine, which is what happened in here. Like I said, really good suspense at the end as well, and I just had a lot of fun reading this, and I love the setting. So atmospheric and amazing. So definitely pick this up if you haven't yet. It was a 5-star read for me. I loved it, and I cannot wait for book 2. And I'm excited for the series. It's book 1 in a new series, and I'm gonna go back. I didn't love book 1 in the Adair series, but one of my friends said that her favorite was 2 and 5 in that series, so I'm gonna go back and read some in that series. But solid start to another series that I'm just obsessed with. Then I did do a sponsored video for Max Monroe for Accidental Attachment, and I found out that the audio was on NetGalley, so I went ahead and downloaded it, and this was such a fun book. I gave it 4 stars. So this is not sponsored. I was just sponsored to talk about it in that video, but I did read this book, and it is, the premise sounded so fun. It was about a writer, and I love books about writers, especially romance writers, and so she has a really famous fantasy series that was turned into a Netflix series, and she is writing this spin-off series, but she has not been really into it, and she has a new editor that she is so smitten with, and she just like thinks he's the hottest thing ever, and so she has been writing fan fiction with them, and they're like broadcasters or something, like in TV news, and she has been writing this story where the hero is him and the heroine is her, and she accidentally submits that book instead of this one, and the hero sees it and he is like, this is amazing, and he's like, this is nothing what we wanted, but he is risking his career to publish this book, and so he convinces the higher ups to go through publishing it, but he has to fix it up in like 3 months, like no time at all. They have to have it ready for publication, and she is such a fun character because like she's very quirky. This definitely reminded me of Charlie Love and Clichés by Ella Mays, which I read at the same time. I was listening to this and reading that physically. The heroines are very quirky, they are a bit clumsy, but they are so just raw and real with their emotions, and it's a lot of fun. And so I did read this in a reading vlog, I can link that down below, but they end up having to go on a road trip together because she cannot fly. She has a condition where her blood pressure will drop and she will faint a lot, and so she does have a service dog that helps her, but flying is not good with her condition, so they end up taking an RV around on her book tour for the Netflix series, and he ends up driving her because he wants to like fix up the manuscript, and they end up falling for each other, and it is so fun. I really liked it. So much chemistry between them, and so many just like cute funny moments, because Max Monroe is definitely more on the rom-com side, but not too rom-com for me. I had a lot of fun, so I gave it 4 stars. Then I had an arc of Charlie Love and Clichés by Ella Mays. This is Ella Mays' first book in I think 4 years, and I love her, and this book was just like a warm hug. I was obsessed with it. I gave it 5 stars. It's a workplace romance. Charlie works in like PR strategy for like really bad situations, like emergencies, like they ruin their reputation, they need help. So she works for her dad, and she is overworked, and her dad and family do not treat her well at all. But a few years ago she had spent a like week in this town, and every night she went to this diner and saw this guy, and they were on the verge of like being soulmates. Like they were so into each other and just like loved who they were with each other, but then something happens and they go their separate ways and have not seen each other since, and their like reuniting was so funny because Charlie's just like a quirky, clumsy character, but in a very endearing way. So like everything was going wrong, and her dad was just getting really mad at her, and it was the hero's first day at work, and he is their new team lead, and she's gonna work on his team, and they realized that they had met before, and so they're reunited and work a lot together, and it was amazing. Like once they started realizing their attraction, the hero is like feral over how obsessed he is with her. Like he needs to touch her, he needs to be in her presence, and I was obsessed. I love the dynamic, sorry, Lily just moaned. I love the dynamic between these two characters and just how madly in love they fell with one another, but they didn't want to get into something too quickly because they do work together, and the hero takes his job very seriously, and he has someone from his past that kind of comes into the picture again, and the heroine is just used to never being good enough for people and not feeling like she's good enough, and like her sister is, and oh my gosh, it was so good. There was a 3rd act breakup, but it definitely made sense, and you did want to shake the hero a little bit, but I love this one so much. I could not put it down. I was obsessed. 5 stars. I do have this one, but I don't know where it is. Oh, okay. So I don't know where some of these books are. So the next one is going to be Rewrite Our Story by Kat Singleton. This one is a 4.5 star read for me. This one is a small town romance, second chance romance, and it is so good. It's a best friend's brother romance, and we get a dual timeline of flashbacks to when they were falling in love right before she leaves for college, and now where she is back in town. So she lost her mom when she was young, and that's the prologue of this book, and she basically finds comfort in the hero's arms. He's always there for her, and they start really madly falling in love with each other in high school. But he breaks her heart, and we figure out why, but he breaks her heart and she doesn't come back. And she's actually a writer as well, and she wrote her book, her first one. She's writing a duet, and the beginning is their story, and it ends on a cliffhanger, and there's the second part of the duet she is stuck writing, but his mom passes away. So she comes back into town and is really trying to comfort them, and obviously they're gonna reconnect and rehash and go through things that went wrong in the past, and we get that correlation between like when they finally get together in the past and when they get together in the future, and I really really liked how those two timelines lined up, and it was just a really sweet small town romance, and I really enjoyed how they had to be there for each other both times. Like, he was there for her when her mom died, and then she was there for him when his mom died, and unraveling things about the mom. I just loved how sweet the mom was in her part in the story, and how they were trying to figure out if they could be together again, because they're basically soulmates. Like, they are meant to be together, and everyone knows they were meant to be together, but the sister doesn't know. But they had their second chance, and their chance to rewrite what went wrong in the past, which is why it's called Rewrite Our Story. But I thought it was really sweet, and of course super spicy. We have some barn scenes, like he is working on the farm, and I really liked it. And I really liked the end where, like, it made sense, but they were both willing to sacrifice so much for each other, and I thought it was really sweet. So 4.5 out of 5 stars. Highly recommend picking this up. If you didn't love her billionaire romance and you like small town, I highly recommend this one. I think you would really love it. Then I listened to the audiobook Until I Get You by Claire Contreras. This one is marketed as a dark hockey romance, and I wouldn't necessarily consider it a dark romance. Dark things happen. So I know Christy from Christy Reads a Lot did not like this book, and she talked about how she feels like it was mismarketed, and I do agree that this only is dark because the heroine has a stalker. So the hero is not the stalker. They meet in college. That does have a time jump and second chance, which are like my two favorite things ever. So I really did like this book. So he is a hockey player, and they meet at a party, and the heroine has gone through a lot. There was a tragedy in her past that really affected her, and she's scared of someone. And so we slowly unravel what happened to her and why she's so scared and has changed, and she slowly like reveals that to the hero. Something tragic happens again to her, and we get a time jump. And the hero, this one is like absolute, I know I keep using the word soulmates, but this one is an actual soulmates romance. So they, in that time apart, compare every single person that could be a potential partner to each other, and nobody lives up to who they are to each other, and I love that so much. But this is dark because, definitely because of more so like the end. I would have loved more suspense throughout the book, so that's why I'm giving this like 4, maybe 4.5 stars. I love their relationship. I loved how they fell so obsessively in love with each other. I love like all-consuming romances where they need to be together and there's no one else for them. That's really what this was. They fell in love, but obviously like there is tragedy in her past and someone scaring her, and so she runs and she doesn't see him again, and he is determined to find her, and I love that so much. And it kind of had like a marriage of convenience aspect happening too. In the second half, they felt like kind of two different books, because we have like the new adult hockey romance, time jump, and then like the billionaire marriage of convenience romance in the second half with the stalker situation. And so it would have been nice if they were like a little bit more connected, but I had so much fun reading this. And it's not a dark romance. I mean, dark stuff happens to her, but the hero is just like literally obsessed with her and will go to the ends of the world to protect her and save her, which is one of the reasons why I really love this one. So if that sounds interesting to you, I would definitely pick it up, but know that it's not like super dark. I mean, like, trigger warnings for like assault, and she went through really bad things. There's murder, stuff like that, but I really enjoyed it. I just love their dynamic and how much they were obsessed with each other, and I had a fun time. The audio was on Hoopla too, and the audio was really good. Then I did read Bless Me All Day. This one I teach. I am a 10th grade English teacher, and it's my 8th time reading this book. I'm not going to review it. It is Chicana literature, coming of age. I read it, so I marked it as read because I read it every year. Then I listened to a French Fling. This is another one that I helped market the audiobook, and so I'm not going to review it, but it is a sapphic travel romance where the one heroine has a company where she puts on tours for old people, and they were a lot of fun. The characters are a lot of fun, and so she ends up falling for a tour guide on the tour, and she is French. So if that sounds interesting to you, pick it up. This one is a definitely short audio. It was only 5 hours, so if you want a travel sapphic romance, check this one out. Then Tori and I are doing a read along for the Rose Canyon books. For the first 3 books in the series, there's only 3, but they're definitely more romantic suspense. The first one's Help Me Remember, and this one I gave 4 stars. This one's an amnesia romance, but I've been liking the other ones better. They get more suspensey as you go on, and so this one, our heroine, it definitely does have suspense, but she wakes up with amnesia and realizes her brother is dead, and she has lost the last like 3 years of her life. And so clues start popping up that she was probably dating someone and that she was there for the murder of her brother, so she needs to uncover that. So we get to see her uncovering who she was in love with, falling in love with him again, and I think it was a little obvious from the beginning like who her love interest was, but I really enjoyed that aspect of this. I do think it just slowed down a little bit in the middle and end, and I was annoyed that the hero would let her do some things. They're trying to like not meddle in her memory so she gets it back organically, because they want to use her in court and don't want them to claim like oh, you were like led to this memory. They want her to just remember herself. And so she thinks she's still with her ex. And so like he comes back and she doesn't know that they broke up. And so he's kind of like, oh, we can still be together. That was just a little annoying. I was like, why are we letting him, like they kissed. I was like, why are we letting her kiss her ex? It was annoying, but I get it because he couldn't tell her and we had to figure out later like who she was really falling in love with, but I thought it was a really fun premise. I love a good amnesia romance. Definitely suspense at the end, so I gave it 4 stars. So then I listened to the end of that on my drive to Chicago, and then I started Bittersweet Heart by Helena Hunting. I love Little Lies. This one, no surprise, was another 5-star read. It is an age gap with an older heroine. She's 29, he's 21, 22. They meet in the summer and have a one-night stand, and it goes really, really well. But then he leaves and she leaves and they go their separate ways. Don't expect to see each other again. He signs up for a creative writing class and he's a hockey player on the hockey team, and it's his senior year. He's just trying to sail by, and she is his new professor, and she is not letting him slack off, and she is horrified that she slept with one of her students, and he is so into her. I love their connection so much because he's definitely a very mature student, because he's like so focused on his future and he's gonna be in the NHL soon. And I really loved how he was like, if this was literally 6-7 months later, I'd be an NHL star. She's not teaching anymore because she's like only doing this position just for the semester or the year. And it's like, how different would it be if it literally was 6 months later? Like no one would care about our age gap, but because I'm still in college and she is a professor, like this can't happen. So the circumstances make their romance taboo, but they keep on running into each other, and then her ex won't go away, so there's a little bit of suspense in here. I love this. Like they fall so hard for each other, even though they're trying their best like not to be with each other, even though it's not technically not allowed. Technically, when he's not her student anymore, they can be together. She is trying to deal with an ex who refuses to divorce her, and he is trying to have his future, and his family was hilarious. There was a conversation with his parents about like him dating an older woman and his mom being like, what the heck? And it was really funny, and I love seeing all the other characters. I love seeing Lavender and Cody from book 1, and I'm so excited for BJ's book, who gets book 3. But this was a really fun romance. I give it 5 stars. I just love Helena Hunting and her new adult romances. These are definitely not the over-the-top drama and comedy I feel like that her Puck series is. These have a little bit more angst, and I really love them. I thought I had the paperback, but I think this is book 3. I ended up reading Give Me Love, which is book 2 in the Rose Canyon series. I listened to this audiobook all in one go when I was driving, and this one has a lot more romantic suspense. I give this one 4 stars as well. I feel like this series is very solid. Our hero ends up having a wife, and everybody in this small town was like, you're not married, and he was in the military. They had a marriage of convenience, and then went their separate ways, and she is back and he's asking for a divorce, and she's like, I don't think so. And so I didn't know this would have so much suspense, so I was a little worried because like halfway through the book they've resolved their relationship and they're together, and I'm like, why are we together so soon? Like, what's the point? We get so much suspense in the second half of this book, and there was some part where I literally was like, what is happening right now? I was so into this story. So I wish though that we kept like them getting back together a little bit longer. I would have liked that. She is a private investigator and he is the sheriff in town, and so something is happening kind of related to book 1 where the brother was murdered. In book 2 he's also best friends with the guy from book 1 and the brother that was murdered. So that kind of continues on through here, but much more suspense, especially the second half was mainly just a suspense plot, and I really enjoyed it. I really liked how madly in love they fell with each other, and how we got to see how they got together and when things switched from friends to more. It was a good romance. I gave it 4 stars. I just started book 3, so this one I feel like is gonna be more suspense as well, but it is a secret baby, but like she didn't mean to keep the baby secret because she didn't know who he was, but they got together in Vegas. And it's a good book so far. Then today I finished 2 books. I finished Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. If you follow me on Instagram, you know, 5 stars. I love this one. I know some people are out there like hating this book. I was obsessed. I love the romance. I love the dragons. I love the fantasy world. This one, she ends up having to be a dragon rider student. So she wants to be a scribe in this society, but her mom is like this general, and her brother, this is gonna freak out my camera. Okay, I'm gonna put it down. So her brother and sister were like really amazing riders, but her brother died, and there's this whole rebellion, and now they follows these people who are forced to enter into the school where like 60% of the people don't make it out. So she is very small and she has a chronic illness where she has really weak like ligaments and joints and muscles, and so she gets hurt very, very easily, and she's really small. And so people are like, you wouldn't even be able to ride a dragon if you passed everything. So it's really her going through all these competitions and trials in order to be a dragon rider, and you have to be picked by a dragon. And the guy that's the love interest is the son of someone her mother murdered. So it is so good. I was obsessed with the romance. The dragons were really, really cool. I really loved how they bonded and who they bonded with and their personalities and how it was connected to the hero. I love that so much, and I just really like the dynamic also between the two heroes, because she does have a best friend that like she kind of has a thing for, but obviously like the other guy's a love interest, and it felt very reminiscent of another popular fantasy series where the one just wanted to shelter her and protect her and smother her, and the other one wanted to watch her grow and fight for herself and let her fulfill her potential. And I really loved that. I loved how the hero just wanted the best for her but had so much faith in who she was and what she could accomplish, because she's been told she's weak and not good enough her whole life. So I liked it. The ending was crazy, and I really love when an author kills off important characters. So that happened in here, and I was like, cool, kill them off, kill our emotions. I need it. So I cannot put that book down. 5 stars. And the last one I finished is Iced Out by C.E. Ricky. I started this like a month ago and had to read other things, so I put it down. This one is an MM rivals romance, but they're on the same team. They end up hooking up and then like winning the next day, and they're like, maybe we should keep going. And obviously they fall in love, and I thought it was really cute. I gave it 4.5 stars. This one, I wish I had read it all in one go. I forgot like the little details from the first half of it before I jumped in like a month later to the second half, but they fall madly in love with each other, and I really loved how they had to see that like maybe it was something more, even though they spent pretty much their whole lives hating each other, and seeing that switch between them and watching them push their own boundaries that they set, and like, is this really just for luck, or are we like really falling for each other? And the ending was really sweet and adorable, and I just love a good hockey romance. It put me in the hockey mood. I was watching some hockey last night, so I watched the Dallas Stars and the Seattle Kraken play, and it was a really good game, and now I just want all the hockey romances. So 4.5, really enjoy this, excited to read more from C.E. Ricky. And those are all the books that I read in the first half of May. Let me know what you read or what you thought of the books that I read. I would love to hear. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. Bye.